Hey, beautiful day to all you lovely folks out there. This is the Friendship News Hour presented to you by Bummer Dude Media. Today is November the 22nd, 2022. My name is Frank. His name is Alex. And there's a cameo of a kitty behind me.
No.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, Carl.
Hello, Carl. Did your animal, your dog, act differently when you had a kid?
Yeah. He was,
Yeah?
I mean, he was really excited at first, like when we brought him home and stuff. And then I think a little bit of maybe jealousy set in for like all the time and attention we were giving him. And then like even now, me and Sarah always laugh because like we'll be eating dinner and it's funny like how he has to like beg for scraps for the whole time that, you know, we've had him. He's always sitting there asking for food, whatever. And it's like,
Right.
what does he think that we just, you know, he's been around for longer than this kid, but like we willingly feed this kid every single day, spoon feed him while he sits there and watches. But I mean, he's so good with Wally, man. He licks his face all the time. He'll play around him, but he'll never hit him, never snipped at him.
That's good.
How's Carl?
Nice. He does act a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he wants to be in our room more because the baby sleeps in the room. And I don't know that's why, but ever since the baby's been home, he wants to sleep in the room more. But he doesn't sleep like on our bed. He sleeps under our bed.
Oh.
And he's like intent on being under our bed. And then he feels like when he's over it, he'll go to that's what he does. I don't know if anyone else's cat out there does this. He'll go to our sliding closet door and he'll just paw at it.
Weird.
Until somebody wakes up and then lets him out of the room. Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Look at him. All content back there. Moron.
Yeah. Oh.
So you're a little under the weather, yeah?
Yeah. I apologize. My voice sounds like shit, man. Feel weird. I had the chills, and when you go back and forth from like the chills to like being extremely sweaty in a matter of like minutes. It's the worst. It's the worst. It always makes me think of that in Walk Hard with Dewey Cox. We need more blankets. We need less blankets. We need more and less blankets at the same time. That's how I felt, man. It's just shit. But feeling better today at least. So I just sound very hoarse.
That's good. Are you guys worried about RSV at all? Is that top of mind for you guys?
I mean, it's top of mind with the little one for sure, but I think we're good. Wally's just been steadily sick with, you know, cough of some sort since he started going to school and stuff. So
did we talk about this RSV? Have we talked?
We
about
did.
it?
Yeah, I think we talked about it last time. I mentioned that Pat's daughter had it, but she's all good now. Scary shit though, man. Yeah. You guys just had like
Apparently,
the first death, right?
Yeah, we did. And it's just, I don't know, it's just everywhere. And I wouldn't care if I didn't have a child. I have a child now. It's like, it's not that I like don't care. I do, but I don't know. I feel like if you internalize these things, you'll always be afraid of something, or you'll always have like giant worry about something. So I mean, you take precautions as much as you can, but I don't know.
Do you feel like over the last couple of years, have you been any more or less sick?
I've been way less sick. I have not gotten sick. I got, I think maybe like a little bit of a little here last year, maybe like a little bit. The sickest I've gotten is after the COVID shot.
Well, because I feel like I've been less sick, but the times that I am sick, I'm like way sicker than I ever remember being, bro. Like last year I had a sickness. I couldn't move. Like I lost an entire day. Don't remember anything. I couldn't, like it was terrible. And I feel like, and this is maybe a little conspiracy theorist in me, but since I've gotten the COVID shots plural, when I get sick, I just am on my ass, man. And I mean, maybe they are protecting me from COVID and whatever else, but I just feel in my head, I'm just like, man, is it because of this shot or something in me that like, it's just, I feel like I'm just getting my ass kicked every single time, dude. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I have a theory about it. And I think it's the general like cleanliness of everybody, and also like the general apprehension to germs and to anything that might get you sick that we've kind of undertaken since 2020.
Yeah.
So that everything's more sterile, but that means when something slips through the cracks, so like you're more healthy for a prolonged period of time. But when something slips through the cracks, it's now like a novel thing for your body or something that they're not used to anymore. Yeah. And so it hits you harder. That's my theory. There's absolutely nothing that backs that up, but that's the way I think about it.
I don't think I'm going to get the new booster though, bro. I think I'm done. I'm not going to keep taking shots every couple months, man. I'm not going to play that game, I don't think.
I agree with you. I don't take the flu shot, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who have opinions, but I haven't taken the flu like way before COVID. I just, on principle, just didn't take it. I've taken it, and then I haven't taken it. and it really made no difference one way or the other. So I just,
they didn't suggest you should do it for having a kid?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They prescribed me it. They give me a prescription
really?
for the booster, for the flu shot, and then for one other shot that I do need to take. And that's like an update on a vaccine from, I think, when I was a kid. I don't know, one of them. But yeah, dude, I'm not interested in any more boosters. I do not take the flu shot. Addition by subtraction, I think, is the way that I look at it.
Yeah, I feel you. We did not do well in our NFL picks last week, Frank.
Oh, really? I felt good about him.
We went 4-10.
Oh, well.
We did so well the first week, though. So we had so much. I think we just were overconfident in our picks. Hopefully we can do a little better week 12 here coming up, man. We got some Thursday games, Thanksgiving and stuff. So it's
a new week. Put the all week beside us. These are hard to do.
So, okay, Bills at Lions, and they're giving the Bills 9 points.
I got 9.5 here.
9.5. Okay, I'm going off. You go ahead and read them then. I'm going off CBS. You probably got a better site.
Okay, this one's tough because the Lions are playing good football. Winners of 3 in a row.
Yeah,
and the Bills are not struggling, but they're not plowing through teams like they did at the beginning of the season. Mm-hmm. Short week in Detroit. The Bills just won in Detroit, actually.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know, man. Instincts tell me to take the Lions here.
I agree, just because 9 points is a lot. I think the Bills win this game, but I think the way Detroit's been playing, man, they found some spark. And they have, I mean, dude, Jamal Williams is their guy in the red zone. He's helped me out so much in fantasy this year.
Oh, same. He's the touchdown leader.
Yeah, he is. It's crazy. So I'm taking Lions in this one.
I'll take the Lions in this one. The next one, I'm hammering the Giants.
Yeah.
Division game, short week. Both teams are good. Both teams are 7-3. This is a home game for the Cowboys, and the Giants are being spotted 9 points in a divisional game, and both teams are really good. Give me the 9 points all day. And if I lose money on it, I lose money on it. But that's no-brainer for me.
The Cowboys looked ridiculous against Minnesota, though, man.
They did.
In Minnesota,
and Minnesota laid a big egg.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the NFL, man. I don't know. Giants? It's just like so unpredictable. Yeah, Giants all day. There's no universe where I pick the Cowboys to cover that many points.
They need to bounce back after losing to the Lions like that at home.
Right. And then we have the Patriots at the Vikings. Vikings are getting 2.5, or Patriots are getting 2.5. This one's tough because the Patriots out of nowhere are a game back in the AFC East, and the Vikings had a bad loss. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't respect the Patriots, man. That game was so bad. Did you watch that Patriots Jets game this weekend? It was fucking terrible. It was bad.
But that's division. That's divisional football. Two teams that know each other in and out.
Yeah.
The Pats won the first meeting this year, and the Jets, they squandered it away at the end. I like the Patriots in that game just because they were given points in a divisional game against the Jets. It's kind of like, history tells you to take that. Mm-hmm. This one, I'm a little bit more inclined to take the Vikings.
Yeah,
because they need a bounce back. They are a good team. The Patriots aren't great, and I don't know. I just instincts tell me take the Vikings here. 2.5 points. I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so those are our Thanksgiving games. Sunday starts off with Bucks at the Browns. Bucks coming off a bye. Browns, do they get Deshaun Watson back this week?
It was a 12-week suspension, so this is the last week.
Okay, so this is the last week.
Yeah. He is in the practice squad, though.
Are 3.5-point favorites.
I like that.
Against a pretty shitty Browns team.
Mm-hmm. I feel confident with Tampa Bay there coming off a bye.
Tampa Bay coming off a bye. Need to win. Yeah, let's take Tampa, and I'll spot you 3.5. I don't like it, but I'll take them. Bengals at the Titans. Bengals are 1.5-point favorites.
That's
in Tennessee. Yeah. Bengals look good. They're kind of rolling, but not really. I mean, they're good. They're not like as great as they were last year. Titans are 7-3, kind of out of nowhere, tied for second best record in the NFL. You're spotting me 1.5 at home. I'll take the Titans.
With you. Yep. I like that defense, man. That defense is nice. And Burrow, I think, is the most sacked quarterback this whole year. So,
yeah, for sure. Let's see. Texans at the Dolphins. Dolphins are 13-point favorites. Normally, anything above 10 points in the NFL, I'm taking the points. On this one, though, I've seen absolutely no life out of Houston. I mean, none. There's nothing going for Houston right now. The Dolphins have one of the best, if not the best, offense in the NFL. So give me the Dolphins to cover 13 points at home against a really bad Houston team.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Bears at the Jets. Jets are kind of floundering. They started off really hot. They're 6-4. The Bears are really good until about 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and they just find a way to lose the game.
Justin Fields is also injured. He might not be playing this week or the rest of the year, potentially. So,
interesting.
With that in mind, I got to take the Jets.
The Jets and their 4.5-point favorites. That if Justin Fields doesn't play, I'll take that all day long. So we'll assume Fields does not take the field, and I'll take the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Falcons at Washington. Washington, one of the more exciting teams, believe it or not, in the NFL right now. They've had like a 3-week stretch of just incredible football. Heineke is playing excellent at quarterback. Their defense is ridiculous at the moment, and they get back. What's his name? Who's an Ohio State lineman?
Chase Young.
Yeah, so they get Chase Young back. And they're favored by 4 points at home against the Falcons. And the Falcons, I hate betting Falcons games, dude. I hate it because they're always really close. The Falcons are never like that good, but they're never that bad. And I never know which way to go here. 4 points almost seems too much to give Washington as favorites here. I'm inclined to take the Falcons and the points.
Okay. What
do you think?
I'll trust you. I'll trust you there. I feel like Atlanta, they just put that Kyle Pitts on IR. He's out. Cordero Patterson has been really having a great season, but I'm riding that Washington wave personally, but I trust your sports acumen here, so I'll take Falcons. That's cool.
Okay. Broncos at the Panthers. Dude, the Broncos should beat the piss out of the Panthers, even though it's in Carolina. They really should just absolutely destroy them. They're favored by 2.5. I don't know, man. I wouldn't bet on the Broncos ever this season. My instincts tell me to take the Broncos here, but I don't. Fuck it. Let's ride with them. Broncos country, let's ride. So we'll take the Broncos minus 2.5 in Carolina. Ravens at the Jaguars. This seems like a low line here. 4 points. Favorite to Baltimore. At Jacksonville, I don't know. Jacksonville's not really got much going, but it's the NFL, dude. Any given Sunday, you never know. The Ravens are known to just kind of like lay an egg randomly. So it feels almost like a trap. But let's not overthink this and take Baltimore and the points.
Yeah, I was surprised they only put up 13 points against the Panthers last week, though, man. That surprised me. But
yeah, well, the Panthers beat who'd they beat the week before? Might have been Atlanta. It was Atlanta.
Yeah, it was the Falcons. They beat them 25-15.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows? They just need to break it open a little bit, and the Jags really have no hope. Chargers at Arizona.
Man, Arizona looked bad.
I don't know if Kyler's gonna win or play. Excuse me. I don't know if Kyler's gonna play. The Chargers. I don't know, man. Fuck. I don't know. This team is so ridiculous. They're 500 right now, 5-5. They're in every game they play.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert has had 2 interceptions to end the game in the past 2 weeks. Looking a lot like old Philly Riv. 4.5 is a lot of points. If Kyler Murray doesn't play, I like the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you there.
I'll take the point. So we'll assume Kyler Murray doesn't play, and we'll take Chargers 4.5, minus 4.5. Raiders at the Seahawks. Seahawks are coming off a bye, and are they? Did they play last week?
I'm pretty sure coming off a bye. No, I think you're right.
Okay. And they are favored by 3.5 at home. I don't like the Raiders at all, just on principle, but they really suck this year. And the Seahawks are actually a pretty surprisingly solid team. So I'm taking the Seahawks.
I'm with it.
And I'll spot you 3.5. Rams at the Chiefs. Ooh, Rams suck.
Damn.
That's a
not
big
good spread, though, man.
And KC is favored by over 2 touchdowns. It's no way. Rams in the points. That's way too many points, man.
That's a lot, man.
Saints at the Niners. Dude, I don't know what it is about San Francisco. Everybody's riding this gravy train. Like, they're a good team, dude. Don't get me wrong. But they're favored by 9 points at home against the Saints, who aren't great, but they can score points. They can get the ball out there. I don't know. Give me the Saints. Give me the Saints and the points. It's too many.
Okay.
Too many points. And then Sunday Night Football, Packers at the Eagles. The Eagles will wipe the floor with the Packers. Yeah. They're favored by 7. I'll take the 7. Eagles -7 is the pick. And then Monday Night Football, yuck. Steelers at the Colts. Colts are getting 2.5 points. And I'll take it. Why not?
Sure.
Let's ride with the Colts.
All right. Hopefully we do better this week. To the news.
Neato. I don't even know where to start. Here's where I'll start. Quick correction on our end, or update. Just mere hours after we recorded last week, it came out that the 4 students that were killed in Idaho were actually stabbed. And we were speculating that it might have been an overdose. There was no details coming out. Well, the details came out that they were they were all stabbed. And like I said, the details are really gruesome. I don't know if you've read anything about it, but like the police were saying, it's as horrific of a crime scene as they've ever seen. Somebody was following somebody in this group. They have it on camera, and by all accounts, it's a targeted attack. So I still don't know. They're not saying that anybody's in danger in the community, but how can you say that? Like, kids have gone on and left. Like, they've left campus. They've said, I'm not staying here anymore. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of it. One of the things that popped into my head was so let me play this out for you. Let's say, God forbid, I'm with some friends and I'm killed along with these friends. And it appears to be a very targeted attack. It's not random. It's targeted. Like, if somebody meant to do this to me, what would be your first thought?
I would think, an ex, someone that, may have felt a certain way about someone that got wronged or something like that. Like, that would be the first thing that would come into my head.
Now, police have no suspects.
Weird.
Now, what do you think?
Yeah, that I don't know, man. I mean, it could just be a random, but from the details I was reading, that there was it happened on multiple floors within this building, and other people's rooms were totally passed up. It was on the 2nd and the 3rd floor. There was multiple victims, so it has to be targeted in some way.
Yeah. So the one thing that came into my head was like somebody owed somebody money.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Or somebody was mixed up in something they shouldn't have been mixed up in. I'm not victim blaming here. I'm just trying to formulate a scenario where this makes sense. I don't know, but maybe cartel kind of stuff, maybe. I mean, it seems like one of those things where it happens and then somebody disappears because they don't belong in that neighborhood to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So they commit the murder and then they leave immediately because they don't live in Moscow, Idaho. They have no business in Moscow, Idaho outside of the crime that they just committed. That's what I think.
Yeah. That makes sense to me, man. That's crazy. They have no suspects, man. That's
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. So
it's making Sarah want to get a security system. She already told me.
Really? You should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She was reading into it a bunch and she's just really freaked out. I'm like, yeah, about that.
Do you have a ring?
No, we don't have a ring. No. I do want to get one. Those are nice. It is that would be. But I mean, the security system, you got a kid in the house, you probably should have one. Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm looking right now to see, there's really nothing. The cops urge patience, which is a hell of a thing to urge in a situation like this.
I take it there was no camera footage from the house. Was this like a sorority house?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a lot of evidence, right? That's what I'm saying. Police said it was sloppy, right? It was messy. It wasn't anything sophisticated. And so, like the first thing that came to my mind was like, you ever seen the TV show Fargo?
I never have, nor the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, there's assassins in that movie and they don't really care, right? Because they're gone, right? Like they're not sticking around. So they have no reason to be nervous about the local police in whatever area, right? They're doing their thing and they're leaving, and nobody is going to think about them, the person that committed the crime, because they're pretty much invisible. Nobody knows them in the area. They don't leave pay with cash, don't leave trace, anything like that. And so, I mean, I don't know. Apparently there's a lot of stuff to sort through, but something tells me that this is not going to be solved.
Yeah, I think your inclination, though, is probably right, though, because a lot of the stories I've been reading refer to it often as a party house. So if it's a party house, obviously there's probably drugs involved. And yeah, those people don't fuck around sometimes, if people were fronting drugs and didn't pay or whatever the fuck it might have happened, stole or whatever, like some people are going to make that right real quick in their book. So that's probably honestly the most likely scenario. But yeah, we don't want to victim blame these guys. They could just be random, and it's
I mean, it could be a college student. We have no idea. Yeah. And it really sucks. I know some friends that went to that university, and it hits home. Moscow, Idaho, man. Like, I don't know. I don't want to like stereotype, but who wants any trouble like this in Moscow, Idaho? Right. Small, so small. Yeah. It's like tiny. So I don't know. It's shaking a lot of people. Our hearts go out for sure.
For sure. You check out the World Cup yesterday. You been watching any of it?
Yeah, man. I watched the U.S. game yesterday. I had the Mexico game on in the background this morning.
Yeah, man. Mexico survived. Good for them.
Yeah, they survived. That's a good way to put it.
Hey, the keeper stopped a penalty from the best striker in the world in Robert Lewandowski. So that's humongous.
That was, on a PK. That was awesome. Yeah. The Saudis beat Argentina. How about that?
Yeah, dude. People are talking all kinds of shit because Argentina had 3 goals within a 35-minute span, called back for offsides. So they're talking, obviously Saudis have money. They're talking all kinds of shit about bribes and Lanja just being, not the most honest or whatever, but that's a huge upset. If we don't see Lionel Messi move past the first round in his last World Cup, that would be unbelievable.
Yuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. But it's exciting, man. It
is, yeah.
Yeah, United States held on.
Well, they held the lead for the whole game pretty much, and then that one and they were kind of fucking around, and it seemed like dropping to the ground a lot. And I don't know if they were just trying to kill time and chew clock, but
well, the referee in that game was a piece of shit.
Terrible.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he was not good.
He was all over the place. I mean, I don't know. I equate it to somebody who in like baseball whose strike zone is just all over the place.
Yeah,
calling high strikes for one team, not calling the same strikes for the other team. Just there's no congruency. It looked like he was overwhelmed. Maybe he wanted their 15 minutes of fame. But if you're the U.S., you don't play into that. You just play your game. Mm-hmm. Don't play into it. I don't know, man. I get it. It's the world stage, World Cup. You want to win, but it seems like they let the emotions get the best of them there. Like towards the end, that was a really, really dumb penalty in the box to give Wales the tie. So by all accounts, they should have 3 points. They don't. And then they play England on Friday, and I'm stoked. I'm depending on how Thursday goes with the child. I may be somewhere very, very inebriated watching this game. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Celebrate my birthday in style, my friend.
Oh, that's right. Your birthday's on Friday, huh?
It is. Yeah. I think we're going to get destroyed in that game. My guess is
you think so?
4-1, maybe a 4-2 victory for England. Yeah, I wasn't very impressed, man. What we look at, Wales is not good. They have like,
are they not?
They have. I mean, they're not bad, but they have a few players. Gareth Bale being one, who's at the end of his career. He's like 34 now, and other than that, maybe one other guy, but. The people that they were subbing in, dude, were like semi-pros, and that's like being gracious and no disrespect to them. Like they're on their country's team, but compared to some of the guys we have, like we should have been dominating, and Wales just out-physicaled us. They beat the shit out of Christian Pulisic, who's our best player. They just beat the shit out of all our good players, and by the end of that game, we had no nobody that really could make a run, it seemed like. One of our other best players, Gio Reyna, who they haven't really said what's going on with him. He's probably hurt, but didn't play at all. They've got no inclination what's going on with him. It's just, that's a game we needed to win. Like, we should have won, and we needed to win. And now it basically what it's going to come down to, because USA and Wales are both going to lose to England, most likely. It's going to be who puts up more goals on Iran. That's the other team in the group, and it's going to come down to goal differential. Beats up more on Iran. It's got to. So we'll see. Did you see what the Iranian team did though?
Yes, actually I did.
That's kind of interesting. None of them sang their national anthem in a protest against their government, which we've seen a lot of. It seems like we've seen a lot of, female support, especially in Iran, for all of this. But this is like the first major thing that I can think of we've seen from like men supporting the women in that country, at least on an international scale. Yeah, for sure. And this this is real activism here, because we know that the stakes are very clearly high for speaking out against this, especially on a world stage like that. I mean, it's embarrassing to the nation of Iran, right? And that's the point. And the consequences here are punishment or death, right? Like that's well known. So very commendable, very courageous on the part of the Iranian national team. Their goalie also broke his own nose on his player's head. I think he hit it on the defender's head. I think it was like 10 minutes into that game, just broke the shit out of his nose. There was blood everywhere. And then they went on to lose like 6-2. So not great, but their show of support was good. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude. We have a clip of the press conference after the game asking about the protest, asking one of the Iranian national team players about the protest. He says, before anything added, I would like to express my condolences to all bereaved families in Iran. They should know that we are with them, we support them, and we sympathize with them. We have to accept that the conditions in our country are not right. Our people are not happy. We are here, but it does not mean that we should not be their voice or we must not respect them. Whatever we have is for them, and we must fight. We must perform the best we can, and to score goals and present the bereaved people of Iran with results. I hope the conditions change to accept the expectations of the people. That'll do. Yeah, we should follow that up because, like, I'm not saying this to be facetious, dude. That dude might just end up dead. Yeah, for sure, man. Sucks. So I don't know if you knew this. I didn't really know this until I read into it. But Twitter has been a hotbed for child sexual exploitation is the official term. Basically child porn. Do you know this? No. Yeah. So there's a gal by the name of Eliza Blue, and she's an activist for victims of human trafficking, especially children. And for several years, she's been putting pressure on Twitter to remove child sexual exploitation material at scale. And up until Elon Musk acquiring Twitter, Twitter has been slow to remove a lot of the content. This gal Eliza has pointed out that under the new leadership, Twitter is taking child exploitation seriously. However, there is still much work to be done. Blue pointed out a few key changes Twitter made under its new leadership. The first change were to its reporting system, and in a Twitter thread, Blue made suggestions for Twitter, and so far the platform has implemented two of the suggestions that she made. The first one is clear and easy reporting, and Twitter implemented a 2-click reporting for children reporting their own abuse material. And then there's a separate tab for adults experiencing sexual exploitation as well. The other key issue is that the platform has been noticeably working on its removal of hashtags known to be used to sell child sexual exploitation materials. So that's how they use hashtags, and we're not going to repeat them on here. If you want to find them out, a quick Google search will let you know all you need to know. But they use these hashtags, and when these hashtags are used, to people who, it's basically a signal, and the people who receive the signal then contact these people and sell them child pornography or whatever they're looking for. And what's really interesting, and I have to
I have to ask the question, why did it take Elon Musk taking over Twitter for something like which seems very commonsensical to happen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying the previous leadership was a bunch of pedophiles, but I'm also not saying that they didn't care about pedophilia or these exploitation materials. Enough so to take the suggestion of a survivor of exploitation. So I thought it was really interesting that it took Elon Musk for this kind of stuff to happen. This is Eliza Blue here quoted saying, "After years of advocating for the minor survivors of Twitter, I've never been as hopeful as I am right now. I don't expect perfection from a platform. All I've ever wanted was to see a sense of urgency around such a serious matter. In many of these cases, this is a matter of life or death for each victim, so every second matters." Her suggestion for Twitter is to continue prioritizing the removal of child sexual exploitation content, go through the reports, go over all the backlogs of the reports, and work hand in hand with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. She added that Twitter should innovate around this issue using all the technology that's available. So that, I mean, we hear a lot of shit about Elon. Maybe some of it's deserved, maybe some of it is not. I don't know. But it seems as though one very positive thing is happening on Twitter, and that is that they are pushing back on child sexual exploitation. And I say, good job.
Yeah, for sure. Isn't it interesting how I think it was like end of October, he fires 50% of the employees. A big mass migration just happened too this last week because he kind of gave them an ultimatum on if you want to stay here or leave, but here's like your new conditions. And through all of this, Twitter has not crashed, still works perfectly fine. Like, what were all these people doing, dude? Like, 75% of your workforce apparently was not needed for Twitter to continue to run.
It's taking up space, man.
Yeah.
Just taking up space. In other world news, there was an earthquake in Indonesia. It's pretty big, man. It's not getting a ton of coverage outside of, just a couple headlines, but at least 268 people were killed. Another 151 people are missing after a 5.6 magnitude earthquake struck the Indonesian island of Java on Monday. Now, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake is significant, but if that happened in like San Diego, I couldn't imagine there'd be more than 10 deaths.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And I'll be very clear. California, the building codes are incredibly stringent to seismic activity. So you have to build to the seismic activity. So the reason for that is because we built to it. It looks like this is a pretty impoverished area. I don't know very much about Java, Indonesia, but the fact that a 5.6 magnitude earthquake has killed 268 people, to me, means that there was a threat for this that was known and was not well prepared for at all. Wow. Maybe lack of resources or funding or a combination of all of that. But the regional governor has said that more than 13,000 people have been displaced. The majority of those who died were children. Man. Many public school students who were taking extra lessons at Islamic schools were identified as most of the victims. There's a lot of trapped residents. And the majority of those who died were hit by buildings. So, yeah, I mean, it tells me that they were not built to handle any sort of seismic activity, which is crazy because Indonesia has a lot of earthquakes. They're in what's called the Ring of Fire in the Pacific. It's an arrangement of fault lines and volcanoes in the Pacific Basin. So they have earthquakes and a bunch of other extreme weather, which is wild. If we know this, it's wild that people actually settle in these areas. And here's something interesting. This past February, there was a 6.2 magnitude earthquake that left 25 people dead and 460 people injured in the Sumatra province of Indonesia. Now, why that's interesting is because if you're looking on the Richter scale here of earthquakes, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake is what they experienced on Monday. A 5.7 magnitude earthquake is 100 times more powerful than a 5.6, right? So each point that goes up is 100 times more powerful than the one before it. So 6.2 is, quick math, 600 times more powerful than a 5.6 that only left 25 people dead. In 2018, though, a 7.5 magnitude earthquake hit northern Indonesia, followed by a tsunami that killed 384 people. And in 2004, wow, this is crazy. In 2004, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake off the Indian Ocean killed more than 230,000 people in 14 countries. More than half of them were killed in Indonesia. So it sounds like Indonesia knows very well the risk of earthquakes.
Wow, man. I just looked up the biggest one of all time. It happened in 1960 in Chile, and it was a 9.5 magnitude. Only 6,000 died, though, which doesn't seem like that many for the biggest one of all time.
Yeah, and you said there's a 1916?
1960.
1960?
So I guess maybe it wasn't extremely settled, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, probably. There's, the population growth between, 1950 and then now in the world.
Yeah.
It's exponential. It's crazy. The trajectory is like sky high. So it's probably that there weren't that many people living or that many people or that many buildings that could have caused this kind of damage.
Being that you live out where they happen, because I've never experienced one, I probably never will. What's like the biggest one that you have that you remember being a part of, or sure
probably like a 5-pointer.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty. It's kind of scary. I hate to say this in the wake of this news, but I love them. They happen.
Really?
Yeah, man. They really get me going because it's like. It at first it sounds like somebody is like running through your house really loudly. You know what I mean? Like if you were to walk through your living room where you have like a case of like a liquor cabinet or something, and it like jingles, that kind of thing, and you're like, who's running? And then you realize that nobody's walking, and then immediately it registers as an earthquake, and I just let's go, because you can't stop it. You're just in the midst of the earth flexing your nuts, and I love to just let it happen and experience it. The most powerful one I remember, like I was sitting at a desk, kind of like I am now, and the TV, the monitor began to fall forward, and we like just put our hands up and pushed it back. So like nothing happened, but it's scary enough when you realize that the earth quakes beneath your feet and there's nothing you can do about it. But I've never experienced anything where it caused like wide scale damage.
Okay. So. Or like worry. Like you were never worried that you were going to be swallowed into the earth?
Nah, never. It just, it just kind of like shakes and rumbles and just like that.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
But yeah, and another thing about earthquakes is that they happen every day, all the time, everywhere. They're just small enough to not feel them.
Right.
Like the earth moves constantly beneath us. It's constantly agitating. The fault lines are constantly grinding up against each other. It's just when it happens on a large scale that it registers above the Earth's crust. But there's earthquakes that happen all over the place. And I think it's like high 2s, low 3s is enough for you to feel it, to notice that there's an earthquake. And then into like the high 3s and the 4s is when it's like, whoa, this is an earthquake for sure.
Damn, man. Yeah, I'd have to imagine it's scary. The only thing we have that's like that is tornadoes. You guys don't get tornadoes, do you?
Nah, we get fires.
Yeah, fires.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have here? You had something about some sheep?
Dude, yeah. So I saw this video. It came out of Mongolia earlier this week. And it's weird. It's weird to say the last. I think there's actually an explanation for it. But I wanted to show you anyway because it's pretty weird. And conspiracy theories, so, they'll run with these kind of things. This comes out of a farming region in Mongolia. Can you see this? Mm-hmm. These sheep have been walking in circles like this for more than 2 weeks now. In a perfect circle, not a semicircle or some oblong way, a perfect circle, damn near. And it has a lot of people just like, what the fuck, what's going on? Is it aliens? Is it this? Is it that? Like, people aren't really sure what's going on. The more I read into it, it looks like the most likely cause, even though they say that these sheep are perfectly healthy. It's a disease called listeriosis. And one of those symptoms is circling, but also depression, loss of appetite, lack of coordination. But usually when animals do this, they die within 24 to 48 hours. And these sheep have been doing it for more than 2 weeks. So no one's really sure what's going on. Some people are saying they ate mushrooms and they're tripping out in the fields. Some people are just saying they are in their core want to migrate, and this is the best way to do so. But it's just strange to watch them move in a perfect circle like that for such a long time.
Looks like something out of a horror movie.
Like Signs or something. Like It's like
That's
the first sign before
signs.
something. Yeah, it's so strange. I saw that on my timeline earlier.
Is there precedent for it?
No, there's no precedent at all. Like this, they just started doing it out of nowhere. This has been going on since November 4th. Occasionally, one will go to the very middle of it and then rejoin the crowd and continue to, circle. But they don't really have a good explanation, because what they think is the most likely is that listeriosis, they'd all be dead by now. So,
right.
No one can really figure it out. So as I last researched it, they were still doing it. So I don't know what the hell is going on, but other animals have been seen doing this. Whales, sharks, penguins, sea turtles. So some say that it's an attempt to locate the Earth's magnetic field so they can navigate or migrate elsewhere. So I think that's probably the most likely scenario. Like, they just want to fucking get out of there. But I don't know, man. If you watch these videos, it's a perfect circle. It's just weird.
I need a live cam.
Yeah, right? Give me a live feed of
sheep. I'm trying to see this 24/7.
Right.
Do you know who Leah Remini is?
It sounds familiar. I think you've mentioned the name before, haven't you?
Leah Remini, actress. She played Kevin James' wife on King of Queens.
Ah, yep. Okay. Yep.
Yes, that is Leah Remini. Also, former member of the Church of Scientology. If you asked Leah Remini, she would call it the cult of Scientology. I'm not here to throw mud on Scientologists, if that's your belief. Good on you. I hope it brings you peace in your life. However, she has blown the whistle on a lot of weird things that have happened in the Church of Scientology, and I'm not above that at all. We criticize a lot of organized religion here on this show, and Scientology is not immune to it. So this story is about the wife of David Miscavige, who is the leader of Scientology. And she's been missing for over 15 years. Leah Remini has tried to find out what has happened back even when she was part of the Church of Scientology before she broke. And she's provided us a very nice long Twitter thread about what is going on. So it starts off with a gentleman named Corey Palka, who is a 34-year vet of the LAPD and a longtime captain of the Hollywood division where the Church of Scientology has their headquarters. Corey was in charge of the division when Leah Remini filed a missing persons report into the disappearance of Shelly Miscavige. Here is Corey, and she shows a picture of him accepting a check from Scientology for an LAPD charity to the tune of $20,000. And then she says, here's where it gets interesting. Corey is now being investigated for providing confidential investigative information to top CBS executives, which begs the question, what investigative information has he provided to Scientology over the years, right? So in a separate investigation, he has fed CBS executives information about an investigation. And so she's saying, well, if he's doing that to CBS executives, what has he done for Scientology? Mm-hmm. In 2013, after Leah Remini left Scientology, she filed a missing persons report with the LAPD on Shelly Miscavige. By the time that she filed the report, it had been nearly 8 years since she had seen or heard from Shelly Miscavige. At Tom Cruise's wedding to Katie Holmes in 2006, this is Leah Remini speaking now, I was shocked when Shelly wasn't with her husband, David Miscavige. When Tom's wedding was dubbed the wedding of the century in Scientology, it was the most critical event ever for top Scientologists. Shelly was always with her husband. She was his shadow, not only because she was married to him, but also because she was his top aide. For her not to be in attendance was not only unusual, but also unimaginable. When I asked where Shelly was, Tommy Davis, Tom Cruise, and David Miscavige's henchman told me, you don't have the fucking rank to ask about Shelly. I was subjected to months of cruel interrogations and reprogramming for the high crime, quotes high crime, of asking where Shelly was. My letters to Shelly had all gone unanswered. I couldn't reach her by phone either. So when I left Scientology, my first goal was to try and find Shelly. I filed a missing persons report through a friend I knew at the LAPD.
Damn, dude.
Hours after I filed the missing persons report, the case was closed, and the LAPD announced to the press that they had found Shelly. Shelly! This news was released first to the press, not to me, who filed the report. I learned about all of this from the media, not the LAPD. When I asked if detectives had spoken or had seen Shelly themselves, I was told that was classified by the LAPD. I was told to file a public record request if I wanted further information. I spent $50,000 in attorney fees filing various requests. My requests for information from the LAPD were shut down. I still don't know anything about the circumstances of this investigation. Scientology has always done a great job at Scientology has always done a great job at integrating itself with law enforcement despite being experts in obstructing justice. Scientology hires off-duty LAPD cops as security and donates to LAPD charities, all while instructing their members never to help with any criminal investigations involving Scientologists and making it a high crime within Scientology to report Scientologists to law enforcement. When I met with Corey Palka, this is the LAPD detective, about Shelley, he had a letter on his desk thanking him for all his help with Scientology matters and inviting him to come have lunch as a guest at the Celebrity Center. I was so alarmed by Corey's closeness with Scientology, I even offered to personally double any donations they made to LAPD charities if he wouldn't accept the donations from them. Corey was incredibly dismissive. Take a look at these emails obtained by, Tony Ortega. I don't know who he is, but Corey exchanged with Scientology officials. Look how helpful Corey is with Scientology. Look how friendly the relationship is. It's just a bunch of emails of them being back and forth, very buddy-buddy. Corey even assigned a particular detective who could personally handle Scientology's complaints. He also agreed to help introduce them to the Detroit chief of police. This is unheard of. The LAPD Lieutenant Andre Dawson, the detective in charge of my missing persons report into Shelley Miscavige, also had a cozy relationship with Scientology. Here he is speaking at Scientology Celebrity Center at an event about human trafficking. Corey Palka also allowed Scientology to set up an informational kiosk at the LAPD Hollywood division. Here is what it looked like. So it's like it's like an interactive deal about human rights. I don't know. It looks like it's sponsored by Scientology in the LAPD headquarters in Hollywood. An investigation must be opened into Corey's relationship with Scientology and the LAPD's interactions with Scientology overall. And the LAPD must not attend Scientology events anymore or accept their funds. Where is Shelley?
And they still don't know. They still have no answers, huh?
Nothing.
Wow, bro.
Crazy, man. 15 years this woman has been missing.
Jesus, man. That is wild.
Super, super wild, man. Super wild. I mean, like, this is like movie stuff, you know?
It's like cult behavior. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. This is like the stuff of like a Hollywood.
Yeah.
But
it's almost like they're ingrained into it's like a mafia kind of a thing, man. It's like they're ingrained into law enforcement now too. Right.
I mean, what would you do obviously, if you needed the support of the police, if you needed to make sure that nobody investigated your organization for any reason, then you buy the investigators. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's see. Where are we at here with time? What is your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
That's hard. It fluctuates. I'm a big sweet potatoes guy, man. My mom makes this like yams with cinnamon brown sugar pecan glaze on top. Big fan of that. I'm always a really big fan of green bean casserole when it's made with fresh green beans. That is something I need to have because when it's a whole different level. But those two would probably be very up there for me. Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think about mine. I really like stuffing. Stuffing is solid. Yeah, I'm not a turkey guy, man. Yeah. Okay. I hear that. And a lot of people don't like turkey. I like to think I make a pretty solid turkey. So I like to change people's minds about turkey. Yeah. But if you don't like turkey, I understand it. Like I'm not here to say you're wrong. It's weird because I love ham too. But turkey, I eat ground turkey all the time. But I've never enjoyed baked turkey. Like it's just most of the time it's dry, and even when it's not dry, it's like weirdly fatty, and it like the texture of it seems undercooked to me. Just not. I don't like it. Yeah, and it's interesting that it's just so prevalent, and everybody has like a pretty strong opinion about it, and then nobody realizes, I love turkey. I don't ever hear that. So the LA Times has a matrix for ranking the official Thanksgiving food, and the matrix is on the x-axis worst taste, better taste. Right. So what tastes good and what tastes bad. And then the y-axis is interesting. More family strife and less family strife. So how divisive is the dish, right? Like maybe, how
Like maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a divisive.
I could see like cranberry sauce being divisive because it's a strong
cranberry sauce
flavor.
Or what's that weird Jello dish that some people bring sometimes, and it tastes really good, but it like looks really odd.
It's really strange. So and then you have like mashed potatoes, which is like the least divisive dish you could probably have.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Yes. So they rank from 20 to 1, starting with number 20, turkey.
Okay. Yeah.
They sum it up perfectly. If I wanted something this dry and white, I'd watch a Frasier marathon. It's pretty funny. They even say like you can brine it, spatchcock it, deep fry it, you can cook it whole or in parts, but the fact remains that turkey kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And I disagree. I think if you do it right, it's actually really delicious, but that's fine.
Would you ever
number
take
19?
Would you ever take turkey over ham?
Never.
Yeah, there you go.
Never. Number 19, pumpkin pie. Oh, this is interesting.
Wow.
Pumpkin pie rates highly on the family strife scale as it is a divisive dessert. The heavy spices, along with the color and texture reminiscent of soft dog turd, just don't whet my appetite. Sorry. So this is somebody's personal opinion. I would rate pumpkin pie much higher than this, but I do get it. Like I get it. Like the texture's not great.
Yeah.
It tastes good.
The flavor's not delicious though. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they put tofu turkey, whatever. I'm not even going to read about it. Shouldn't even be on the list. I've never had it at Thanksgiving. And then at 17, cranberries. Fresh cranberries are less enjoyable than their processed brethren, due no doubt to the fact that most people don't really know how to properly prepare fresh cranberries, usually adding too much or not enough sugar or failing to cook them off in a proper amount of time. I made some lemon cranberry bars. So good. They rank cranberries pretty low. Number 16, sweet potato casserole.
Damn.
It's a classic. You're either all about it or not. There is no in between. I don't really care for sweet potato casserole, man.
Wow. It changes things in our friendship.
It's a dessert, and you serve it with the meal.
Yes, you do.
It's odd. It's odd.
Good.
Not a fan. Squash. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 15.
I'd take butternut squash like baked in the oven. You know what I'm saying? But other than that,
number 13, pecan pie.
Okay. Yeah. Big fan.
Now, my favorite, but it is purely sugar. That's all it is. It's corn syrup, molasses, and sugar. That is the dish. Yeah. Anyway, I love it, but I have it at 13. Number 12, Brussels sprouts.
Never had that at Thanksgiving, but I do like them.
Yeah, they've become kind of a staple at our house for Thanksgiving. The LA Times has here, I'm glad for the change in Brussels sprouts, that they're good fried, grilled, or steamed. Just be careful not to overcook them because they'll smell like farts. Which is true. Number 11, apple pie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if it's made well, it's fantastic. But sometimes it can be made very poorly. And I think that's where the strife comes in. Mm-hmm. Number 10, rolls or biscuits.
Basic. Okay.
Basic, but you have to have them, right?
Not if you're having stuffing. Like I'm already eating bread. I don't need a roll side. I disagree.
It's the holidays. Number 9, green bean casserole.
Yes. Big fan.
You'll enjoy this. The Midwest in me continues to have a soft spot for green bean casserole, despite the somewhat nauseating quality of cream and mushroom soup. The dish was created by the Campbell's Company in the 1950s as a way to encourage people to use cans of cream and mushroom. And so that's number 9. Number 7, mac and cheese.
Yeah.
I love mac and cheese, but I don't ever consider it a staple of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I guess. But I mean, I wouldn't put tofurkey or Brussels sprouts on that list either. So, it's an interesting list for sure. Ham at number 6. Yep. The dominant meat.
Number 5, canned cranberry sauce.
Ew, really? That seems like one of the most divisive ones there would be.
But it's fantastic.
Not if you're not eating the turkey. That's what makes turkey better to me.
That's the thing. If you don't serve that with, if you don't have turkey, then you're not going to have cranberry sauce.
Right.
But if you have turkey, you have to have cranberry sauce because turkey sucks so much that you have to mask it with sugary fruit.
Yeah.
Number 4, cornbread.
Dude, so Sarah, that was one I was going to mention when you asked me, because we make this like corn casserole that's like a bread, but more, it's not so dense like a bread. It's more of like a creamy texture, because you basically use a can of corn, can of cream corn, some sour cream, bunch of butter. I'm forgetting one other thing, but basically it's that, and then you bake it up, some cheese, maybe jalapenos, and it's just like cornbready in taste. Oh yeah, you also use Jiffy cornbread mix, but it's cornbready in taste, but not, because cornbread, if you overcook cornbread, it's dry and it is not enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a big fan of the casserole version.
See, this is a weird list to me. I don't know I've never had this ever, but broccoli gratin.
That's good.
Like
it's like the broccoli
casserole
with the rice and the cheese. It's good, but yeah, no way.
Yeah. And maybe this is like a more like geographical thing, East Coast, Midwest, something like that.
Sounds like this person's a Scientologist.
Yeah. Mashed potatoes and gravy coming at number 2.
A must.
Absolutely. And, mashed potatoes are great on their own, but I feel like they have to go together with gravy at Thanksgiving only, right? I make mashed potatoes all the time. I don't ever serve them with gravy unless it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I'm also a big fan of like mashed potatoes with a vegetable. Like, I like eat it with the corn, eat it with the peas.
Yeah.
I don't need the gravy in that regard, but by themselves, it's kind of dry. So you want the gravy.
I like mashed potatoes with bread.
Really?
With a roll. It's fantastic.
Okay. I can see that. What's number 1?
Number 1, Thanksgiving dish is stuffing.
Yeah.
And what's funny about that is like, I feel like stuffing never gets stuffed anymore. It's never inside of the turkey.
Yeah.
It's always made outside, because we realize how terrible of an idea that is and how sick it makes people sometimes.
Yeah. I just had Thanksgiving this past weekend, and that's how my grandma still does it, though. And I'm sick today,
really?
So maybe you're to blame.
Yeah,
Grandma.
there you go. Because she shoved stale bread upside the backside of a dead bird.
Yeah.
This list is for the birds. I should have scrutinized it before we put it on here, because I think it sucks. I think the LA Times did a terrible job with this list. But if you have some other ideas, let us know. What did they miss? What are we missing?
I don't know. I feel like they kind of checked all the bases. It's weird to me though that they ranked ham. So like, to me, ham is a Christmas meat, even though I think it is much better. It's a Christmas meat, it seems to be. And I don't know why we don't just get rid of turkey. Like, I don't know why it's necessary to be a part of this whole thing. But anyway, we got to get out of here. If you guys get a sec, check the link in our bio on all of our socials. You can hit our merch store. It's a good time of year right now with the holidays coming up. You can get shirts, hats, t-shirts, all kinds of sweaters, underwear even. We got it all. Help us get the word out there to people. It really, really, really helps us. I can't tell you how many times I'm wearing my shirt in public and somebody asks me a question about it. So make sure you do that. Frank, where can they find all of that information at?
On Twitter at FriendshipNH, on Instagram and TikTok at Friendship News Hour. And you can send us an email, bummerdude.media@gmail.com, bummerdude.media@gmail.com. We'll see you next time.